What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you, one of my sponsors, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down in the description. You also know I'm a Weeble, preferred influencer, best promotion in the pinned comment. All you need to do, click the link, go open an account. They're going to give you free stock, deposit even $1. They're going to give you more free stock. Want to get you caught up? Maximum Football. The first thing they released over the weekend was some information about gameplay and a SWAT animation or a catch attempt as a defensive back. And I thought it was very intriguing that they say if you time it correctly, you'll receive a huge boost to the catch success chances. And if you time it early enough, you will perform a dive catch attempt which will take you out of the play, similar to how it worked in some of our favorite games from the past. So this obviously talks about the risk and reward. And when we talk about risk and reward, we talk about both sides of the ball, but specifically the defensive back. The inability to play the ball and the receiver. This has been a huge issue in all sports games, but it's very detrimental when you're trying to simulate sports that a player can do both things. So I love not only the concept of them sharing this with you, them also in a way saying, listen, there's some user skill involved here in the timing, especially if you're going to jump a route. But I even more love the fact that they're coming out and saying, listen, there's a risk and reward here. So we'll show you the reward. But if you don't do it properly, then you're not going to have any success because you're going to take yourself out of the play and be dependent on maybe a safety coming over and making the tackle, or maybe knowing that the risk was you were going to intercept the pass. The reward was for the opposing team in terms of getting a touchdown. They then go on and talk about a sprint animation. And again, talk about community feedback. They said that one of the biggest things they've heard is tuning their running animations. They talk about a standing position, transitioning momentum, which is very critical if you're talking about a game that is going to have any type of physics involved, hitting full stride, and they just wanted to go through and improve those animations. And to me, when they show this gameplay, it looks great. And what I like about this even more is what it's built on and what it's based on. It's based on speed not being the only thing that matters, but playing a big role in the game. So let's think about it in a different perspective. Let's say you have the fastest player on the field, but he doesn't have a lot of acceleration. When you look at these animations and you understand what they're trying to do, this helps separate that player. So you might have a player with great top-line speed. He might be the best one to run a straight route. You're just going to run right up the field. But you have a receiver that has really good acceleration, but not quite as good of a speed. Now you have a way to separate him. Now you have a way to make him more useful than your fastest player because we're going to put him on curls. We're going to put him on slants because we know coming out of that curl, running a field, making that break to run that slant, he's going to be more effective than my player that's just got the straight line speed. This is what helps so many games have replay value. We talk about it a lot, really. MLB The Show does a fantastic job of separating players. Yes, the game has its own sandbox of base traits. Right? You can only go so far. We've seen it. I don't want to bring up a lot of other games, but we've seen it with All Pro Football. We've seen it with Madden. Once you've kind of exhausted the ratings, if you will, separating the players, the only thing you have left is going in and creating traits and attributes, X factors, things that can granularly separate the player. But I think, and we've seen this with All Pro Football, and this goes hand in hand with them saying the games that you liked in the past had a risk reward that we're trying to build in with animations as catches. And now you see them building it in with animations because that's the core of doing this the right way. Right? That's one of the biggest complaints people had about this game. It was very clunky in the past to play. It didn't actually look smooth. And when you have that happen, you're getting poor gameplay, you're getting poor visuals. If you can get the gameplay up to where it needs to be, the visuals are going to be there. but a big part of the gameplay is making it replayable for the gamer. And these are the things that do it. This makes you want to build a team. This makes you want to understand your players. This makes you want to respect depth. This makes you want to better understand, how am I going to line up my receivers? Do I want my fastest player on the outside? Do I want them in the slot? Do I not want them on the field if it's going to be maybe 4th and 4? And I know that it's more imperative for me to complete a short pass than it is a deep pass. Those type of strategy points have really been non-existent with Madden. Now, I don't want to say that they were super prevalent in all pro football, and I certainly don't want to say 2 developer notes are going to make them prevalent in this game. But I will say, when we go back to the 2K series, we know that it took years and years of refining the game to get to that point, and more importantly, it also took the developers having that mindset. If you don't have this mindset, you're not going to make the football game that many people in this community want. You're going to end up making a game kind of like Madden, where everything boils down to how many mini goals can you achieve with a player, and then how are we going to modify that player, or more importantly, how are we going to kind of stunt the defensive player to make sure those goals become more easy to achieve. That's why in real life, so many people were taken back with superstar and X Factor abilities, because it's just really not true. You know, if you go back and you talk about what made Peyton Manning and Tom Brady great, it wasn't that they completed 4 out of 6 passes and then all of a sudden had a supernatural completion rate. It was the fact that they were good quarterbacks. They were very smart quarterbacks. They understood their players, they understood their goals, and they understood how to utilize those players on the field. And that is what makes simulation football. And when you have a game basically come out and saying, listen, this is how we're going to make the game more realistic. We are specifically working on tuning the animations we have to differentiate players, and we are specifically giving you as a gamer risk and reward with animations, and coming out and telling you, try to do this the wrong way and see what happens. That is what challenges a gamer. That is what makes a game fun. That's what makes a game interesting, but most importantly, that is what makes you want to play a game, because you don't always know what's going to happen. MLB The Show, I've played every day for close to 4 years. Yes, there's some repetition in the game, but the game itself presents the ability to have unique moments where every time I start the game up, I say to myself, what's going to happen in this game? Something in this game can happen that I've never seen before. And when you start building a game the way Maximum Football is being rebuilt, you're generating that mindset with the gamer. And that, in all sincerity, is what we've wanted for a very long time. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you watching this video. You know I will be back in the week with more commentary.